Hi guys. So in this series of videos, what I love to do, um, so let's see. Let's just have the agenda. We'll try to go over what is the trivium, what are its benefits, the modern context, what it includes, and then eventually what these videos that I would love to make are. And I just want to make a note here. I'm not I'm pretty sure there's people out there who know this 100,000 times better than I do. I just don't think this is available for a lot of people in this context. So if somebody just wants to take this idea and run with it and just do this in a really excellent way, I would just love that. So because it hasn't been done or it's not being done in this way, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to go ahead and start. So let's just go over what is the trivium on our agenda. So if we look at the dictionary definition, it says it's a group of studies consisting of grammar, rhetoric, and logic. So we always want to begin with definitions. So we know what we're talking about. So we're talking about this science, these arts, which include grammar, logic, and rhetoric. So let's just go over what are some of the benefits for this, and we'll watch a couple of videos. The first one is by Hamza Yusuf, who is the president of Zaytuna College, and let's hear what he has to say about it.
So those are the three. And with those three, if you learn these three, and I hope that you do in these 4 years, if you learn these three, you will be a formidable force in the world. And I'm not exaggerating, because people don't learn these things anymore, and these are the most powerful tools that human beings have.
And now we'll watch another one. This is also so the trivium is also called. This is also known as classical education, and we'll watch this other video.
Galileo, William Shakespeare, Martin Luther, Charles Darwin, Albert Einstein, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson. What do all of these great thinkers have in common? A classical education. While many of us in America have no idea what this even means, this is the method by which the majority of history's most influential people were educated. In our search for a school...
So let's just list a couple of names that were mentioned and add to that. So you have Galileo, Newton, Darwin, Einstein, Thomas Jefferson. Everybody knows about Aristotle, who is the founder of logic. And then you also have from the Islamic tradition Ibn Sina, who is known as Avicenna. A lot of people also know of Ibn Rushd, who is Averroes. A lot of people may not know that Imam al-Ghazali also used the trivium quite heavily. So we use a definition given by him because it's not known majorly. So one of the benefits that he says for logic is an introduction to all knowledge, and the one who has not mastered it cannot be relied upon for its knowledge at all. Its greatest benefit derives from the clarity of thought and sound reasoning skills it engenders in one trained in this art, coupled with more effective oral and written communication. So, as we can see, it's used by a large part of humanity to arrive at some wonderful conclusions about the world. So, those were some of the benefits. Now, is this something that is useful today? Is this something that we need, that we should care about? So let's just look at some questions that are, if they're relevant to us. So some questions which are always relevant. So, for example, does God exist? Yes, or some people may say no. Can science answer moral questions or all questions? Um, are miracles irrational to believe in? And then we can just keep going on and on, adding to this. What is the best form of government in the world? Um, what for and let's just continue on, and let's just look at a couple of other examples. So we have this conversation by Daniel Dennett and Keith Ward on are we more than matter, mind, consciousness, and free will. um, Richard Dawkins and John Lennox, has science buried God? um, And then different conversations going on. Sam Harris demolishes Christianity. Another conversation. Science can answer moral questions. Now, if we look at all of these debates, all of these conversations, they are they are being they are being placed in a way as if they're all utilizing the trivium, as if um, as if we're using logical arguments, we're using rational proofs um, to have these conversations, and that's something that we'll look at and easily just break down one by one and just look at these arguments. Because if you look at it, this is an hour and 20-minute video. We can break down these conversations into simple propositions and syllogisms. And this is where we get into what the trivium includes. So, some of the things that it includes, some of the terms I've already used. So, like pure reason, knowing definitions, knowing propositions, the premises, the syllogism. What is the syllogism? And then the worldview of, for example, what does it mean if somebody's speaking from a worldview of empiricism, that all knowledge in the world can be derived from looking into a microscope in a way. We can change that microscope, but that's the way to look at it. And then the other worldview, that all knowledge in the world can be derived at simply by thinking about it. So, in order to engage in these conversations in a very fruitful way and to actually think about these things, this is where the trivium becomes essential. Because now we have a set of tools which we can use to actually look at all of these arguments. And at the end of it, make up our own minds on what we really um, think about on these topics. So if you think this video was beneficial, please leave me a comment and let me know if you'll find these videos to be fun, or if there's any video that you'd like us to break down in these series of steps. We'll go over, what is premise one, then premise two, and then we'll look at the conclusion that people are coming up with. The first thing we want to do is just make this stuff simple. Like, this is not so complicated. So we just want to simplify these conversations so we can follow it and discover a whole aspect of what makes us human, what makes us rational, thinking beings. Thank you.